Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Thank you very much to connected to this channel. As if you haven't done it so far, please subscribe and like these videos. Any small help is huge for us. So I'm so excited to start the new year with top 10. These are my most anticipated game of 2026. 2025 was an amazing year, but I'm looking at this list. Oh boy, 2026 can be even better. And so, without further ado, let's get started. At number 10, we have a game that the publisher now contacted me and we were arranging the possibility to review it or make a preview. But unfortunately, one of their review copies got stuck of some other influencer who unfortunately struggled to send the copy to me. But nevertheless, I'm very curious to see the final product. And this is IntelliWar. IntelliWar is a war game, although it has an abstract look, and where players try to move their pawns among the board, activate special power, and try to fulfill their mission. By the look of it, it reminds me a lot of war chess or the Duke, where you have these different figures on the board that have different powers. They can move in different way. They can attack in different way. And on top of that, as a very cool aspect that I really enjoy in games, you have multiple ways that the game can end. And the game will end when either of the players will fulfill two of their goals or mission. I'm not sure what they are, but I like this. I like that there are different paths to victory. It's on different strategy. It looks a very tactical game, and I really, really like it. At number 10 is IntelliWar. At number 9, I have a game that I don't know much about it because it is an escape or puzzle type game, so it's once and done. And so the publisher doesn't release too much information because you don't want to be spoiled. And this is Pandora's Legacy. Pandora's Legacy comes from TED, the famous broadcast or monologues that you have from many faculties or famous people. And those videos you can find them on YouTube. So very curious to see how this collaboration brings a game. I've seen in the reviews from different newspapers, very, very well received. I look forward to receive my copy. And this is number 9, Pandora's Legacy. At number 8, we have another, we can say once and done type of game. And I'm happy that it's coming back. This was one of my favorite games of all times. Now it's slipping through a little bit because I haven't played that much because they haven't released many new versions of it. And this is Chronicles of Crime, and this version is gonna be beyond doubt. Chronicles of Crime, if you're not familiar, is a mystery detective game where players cooperatively try to find who is the murderer, who is the culprit of something that happened. There have been several editions, several different variants, and I love them all. Really, really like this game. What do you have? You have cards with QR codes. You have an app on your cell phone. You scan the QR code to interact with people, to interact with objects. You have also virtual reality that allows you to see the crime scene or other scenes, and those scenes change throughout the game based on what time you're going to go and visit them. So it's a very, very dynamic game. And all the stories are very well written. The writing is good, but not too sophisticated that you get lost in reading and reading. Very clear. I'm so pumped about this. I like the theme. There's going to be a Cthulhu theme. There's going to be some sort of the jury kind of thing. I'm very, very curious. I'm super, super pumped. I hope this game is going to bring Chronicles of Crime again on the top 20 or so the games of all time. So super pumped about this Chronicles of Crime beyond doubt. And number 7, we have a couple of games. This company sometimes releases games together, maybe a trilogy. In this case, we have a pair, and these are both only 2-player game. And we're talking about Azura and Moitura. These are games from Bywin Games, who these people make incredible games, not only aesthetically, but also they are really fun. They take classic from Reneknizia, re-implemented. Some of my favorite games all times are Ego that has been released this year, or Zuvadis, and many, many others that I play that I enjoy so much. Last year, this company also released another pair of two-player only games, and they are very, very well received. Unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to play it. For this reason, I'm super pumped about these two games that are coming out. They look gorgeous. I like the mythological theme. I like their abstract. I like their very thinking, but yet not too long. And that's what I like about two-player only games. You wanna something very meaty, crunchy, and thinky, but at the same time, the wrap ups in an hour is done. You can play something else. So super, super pumped about this. These are upcoming two-player only games, Azure and Moitura by Wit Games. At number 6, we have a genre that I'm usually not a big fan of it. I don't enjoy that much a flip and write. It's very rare. I find that sometimes very solitaire or not very interesting. But this one, the look, the theme, it really intrigued me. And we're talking about Marsh Hollow. In Marsh Hollow, you have transparent cards. That's definitely the hook that attracted me the most. You have transparent cards with creatures, and also you have a polyomino shape. And you need to place this polyomino shape on your board. And I think it's brilliant. Having a transparent card with the polyomino shape allows you to rotate and fill up the space very precisely without any intellectual or gymnastic or somersaults of your mind. Very, very clever. And then you have obviously some upkeep because you have some enemy that you need to fight depending on what you cover or you left uncovered. There are some risks that are going to be increases. Very, very interesting. Very cute. Very, very cute artwork. Also, the artwork is very intriguing. It seems something that is very good for family. That is something that I really enjoy because sometimes the roll and write are either extremely simple or very complicated. This seems like the middle ground that I can give me satisfaction with family and with gamers. And number 6, Marsh Hollow. And number 5, we have an expansion. It's not a game, but because I love this game so much, I'm always thrilled when the expansion is coming in. And this is Root, the Homeland expansion. I like the faction. I like the bats. I like the frogs. I like the honey badgers. I like everything I'm seeing about this expansion. I like to be updated and see how much dedication and development have been there. I'm curious to see the new map. And really amazing. Root is already a game that I love. Every time I feel like my mind is blown thinking about how much deep this game is, how much there is to explore. And now you have a new expansion. So super, super thrilled about this. And number 5, the Homeland expansion for the game Root. And number 4, we have I would say a new entry. When I prepared this list, this game wasn't there. And then I read it more and more. I end up backing it. And now it's at number 4. And this is Elder Tide. Elder Tide is a Euro game, but it's a very interesting one. You have these fantastic looking ships or airships moving around these boards or this location to do the usual Euro stuff, resources to convert in this and to have the upgrade and racing to goals and things, the usual Euro stuff. But what I really like is that there is some sort of storm or tornado walking around the board. And that storm, is somehow random, or you can somehow predict the area where the storm is going to be. And you need to be prepared for that. So everyone needs to be prepared for that. And I like this, that things change constantly. I like Euro games, but sometimes they are too strategic for me. And I like some tactic element. And I feel can be it. In addition to that, this company has recently republished Jisoji, a very beautiful game, very well received as well. This game looks also incredibly well. It does something unique. This tactical aspect of the board, moving on this storm, interacting with the players. Very, very cool concept. And number 4, Elder. And number 3, we have another Euro game that makes Euro mechanics to exploration and an adventure type of thing. And this is Falling. In Falling, you need to explore this land and gather resources to achieve goals. And you have a special power, or better to say, variable player powers, and it's fantastically illustrated. Obviously, the art is one of the things that attracted me the most. But what I also like is the mechanism, the key mechanism of this game, hence the name, is where people or players will contribute with artifacts or device that they need to give to a certain tower to generate resources. So you have this engine building. But this tower is falling. So throughout the game, some of these devices will fall from the tower, will go back to the players, who will reward it with greater rewards compared to the devices staying on the tower. This is mechanism is very interesting, this kind of fermenting or developing something very cool later on. So you have this kind of tension that you build in the game, very, very cool. Plus the exploration aspect of the game make it very, very interesting. I'm super pumped about this, the look, the theme, this mechanic. And honestly, I don't see many Euro games that incorporate exploration very well. So I'm always welcome to see what people can do. And this is number 3, Falling. And number 2, we have another one and done game. I had the pleasure to play part of it, play tested part of the prototype, and this is Escape Comics, the Alien Ship. This is escape type of a game, but everything goes around a comic. The comic looks amazing, fantastic drawing, fantastic story, and the puzzle, at the end of the day, that's what it matters. They are very, very good. I'm really curious to see the final work. I'm very curious to see how some of the puzzles have been tweaked and developed. The components already in the prototype, they look amazing. And what you do, you go through this story, and the story eventually will ask you to interact with some props in a very clever way. There are some familiar feeling for sure. There are some similarity with other escape game, which is a good thing. You have a nice warm feeling because you have seen something before. You have that kind of comfort and also rewarding feeling when solving a puzzle. I feel very frustrating when the puzzle is very obtuse, but I like when I click, I can make that connection. I've seen it before. I've seen something similar and I can apply that knowledge to solve a totally new puzzle. And that is the case with Escape Comics. I really like the theme. I think that some of the puzzles are also kind of nostalgia for me. So perhaps also that's the effect. And so very thrilled to see the final product. And this is number 2, Escape Comics. And at number 1, we have a game that I thought, why nobody has ever thought about making a game like this? But fortunately, we're going to have it in 2026. And this is Making Monsters. Making Monsters is essentially Quacks, but better. I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked Quacks. I had it. I don't play that much. I have found some friction sometimes in teaching it and the general mechanics. But Making Monster, by looking at it, by reading it, makes much more sense to me than Quacks. And what you do, you have a bag of chips and you pull those chips trying to make your monsters, building it and making cool and scoring points. But be careful. Not all the chips that you have in your bag, you want to pull them out because you may bust. They're kind of a push your luck element familiar to Quacks and other games. And obviously, when at some point you can upgrade your chips, you can make a better monster. And I think the theme makes it much more sense. It looks more family friendly. I really struggle to play Quacks with non-gamers or people that Clue or Risk is their board game experience. But by looking at and reading the rules of Making Monster, I think I can teach this game to everyone. I like the story of the designer. I really look forward to this one. This is my most anticipated game for 2026 and is Making Monsters. What about your most anticipated games for 2026? Let me know in a comment below. And if you haven't done it so, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. You know the drill. This is not your first YouTube video. Am I right? Thank you very much and see you next time. Ciao.